Do you feel restless, lost, or unhappy? Have you ever felt like your mind is a storm that never settles? Do you wake up feeling anxious, trapped in thoughts that pull you away from peace? We search for happiness in success, relationships, and material things, yet something always feels missing. But what if the secret to peace isn't something you have to chase? What if it's been inside you all along, waiting to be unlocked? This is the story of Taro, a man burdened by restlessness, who traveled to a remote Zen monastery seeking happiness, only to discover 7 secrets that changed his life forever. Stay until the end, because these teachings hold a truth that can set your mind free. Taro's restless heart. Taro was a man who had everything society promised would bring happiness: a high-paying job, a beautiful home, admiration from others. Yet every night he felt a deep void inside him. His mind never stopped racing. Why do I feel this way? He often wondered. I should be happy, shouldn't I? One day, an old friend whispered to him about a hidden Zen monastery in the mountains, where a master was said to hold the secrets to true peace. With nothing to lose, Taro set off, hoping to find the answer that had always eluded him. Secret 1. The empty cup. Let go of what you think you know. When Taro arrived, Master Yoshi welcomed him with a warm smile and poured him a cup of tea. The tea kept pouring until it overflowed, spilling onto the table. Master, the cup is full, Taro exclaimed. Master Yoshi nodded. And so is your mind. You come here searching for peace, but your mind is already full of worries, opinions, and distractions. How can I give you wisdom if you do not first empty your cup? Taro understood. His mind was too cluttered to receive peace. True happiness begins when we let go of what we think we know and open ourselves to the present moment. Secret 2. The silent rock. Stillness is the gateway to peace. That evening, the master took Taro to a garden and pointed at a large, unmoving rock. Be like this rock, the master said, still, unshaken by the wind. Taro frowned. But how can I be still when my thoughts never stop? Master Yoshi smiled. Have you ever watched a pond when the wind stops? It becomes clear, so it is with the mind. When you stop chasing every thought, clarity comes naturally. For the first time, Taro sat in true silence. He realized his thoughts were not the problem, his attachment to them was. Happiness is not found in more thinking, but in learning to sit in stillness. Secret 3. The falling leaf. Accept change, and you will find peace. The next day, Master Yoshi led Taro to a tree where golden leaves drifted to the ground. Look at the leaves, the master said. They do not resist falling. They surrender to the season. Taro sighed. I fear change, master. What if I lose everything I have? The master picked up a leaf. The leaf does not cry when it falls. It knows new life will come. Suffering comes from resisting change. But when you embrace it, you flow with life instead of fighting it. Taro closed his eyes and let out a deep breath. For the first time, he felt lighter. Happiness is not found in holding on, but in letting go. Secret 4. The rivers flow. Stop fighting life, and it will carry you to peace. That afternoon, the master took Taro to a river. Put your hand in the water and try to grab it, he instructed. Taro reached in, but the harder he grasped, the more the water slipped through his fingers. Now relax your hand, the master said. When Taro opened his palm, the water flowed effortlessly through it. The more you resist life, the more it slips away. Stop fighting the current. Let life carry you where you are meant to go. Taro realized he had spent his life struggling against things he could not control. Happiness is found when we surrender to the flow of life, instead of resisting it. Secret 5. The candle's flame. Find the light within. That night, the master lit a small candle. Even in the darkness, he said, this tiny flame brings light. But master, Taro asked, what if the wind blows it out? The master smiled and touched Taro's chest. The flame outside may flicker, but the flame inside you can never be extinguished unless you forget it is there. Taro felt something stir deep within him. He had spent years searching for happiness outside himself, but it had been within him all along. Happiness is not found in things, but in remembering the light inside us. Secret 6. The laughing child. True joy comes from simplicity. The next morning, as the golden sun stretched its rays across the misty hills, Taro strolled through the temple garden, lost in thought. The weight of his journey pressed upon him, always searching, always striving, yet never quite reaching the happiness he sought. Then a sound interrupted his thoughts, a child's laughter, light, pure and unburdened. He turned to see a young boy, no older than 6, chasing a butterfly. His small feet barely touched the grass as he ran, arms outstretched, giggling as the delicate creature flitted just out of reach. Every time the butterfly danced away, the boy only laughed harder, his joy undiminished. Taro watched, puzzled. Why is he so happy? He wondered. There was no prize, no great achievement. And yet the child's laughter was richer than all the wealth Taro had ever pursued. "Master," Taro asked, turning to the old monk beside him, "why is that boy so joyful?" The master chuckled, his eyes twinkling. "Because he is present. He does not dwell in the past or fear the future. He simply enjoys what is in front of him." Taro stood in silence, the truth sinking into his heart like a drop of water into stillness. He had spent years chasing happiness like a man chasing the wind, always reaching, never grasping. But this child, he was not chasing joy. He was living in it. At that moment, Taro understood. Happiness is not a distant treasure to be hunted down, nor is it hidden behind great achievements. It is here in the simplest of moments, a butterfly in flight, a breath of fresh morning air, the warmth of the sun on one's skin. And for the first time in a long while, Taro smiled. Not because he had found what he was searching for, but because, at last, he had stopped searching Secret 7. The mirror. "You are already enough." On his final day, the master handed Taro a mirror. "What do you see?" "Myself," Taro said. "And do you accept what you see?" Taro hesitated. I don't know," Master Yoshi smiled. "Then this is your final lesson. Until you accept yourself as you are, happiness will always feel out of reach." Tears filled Taro's eyes. He had spent his life trying to be someone else, believing he needed more to be worthy of happiness. But now, looking into the mirror, he saw the truth. He was already enough. When Taro left the monastery, he was no longer the same man. He no longer searched for happiness. He lived in it. He no longer feared change. He flowed with it. He no longer fought his thoughts. He let them come and go. He no longer felt empty. He saw the light that had always been inside him. And now so can you. Ask yourself, is your mind too full to receive peace? The empty cup. Are you chasing thoughts instead of sitting in stillness? The silent rock. Are you resisting change instead of embracing it? The falling leaf. Are you fighting life instead of flowing with it? The river's flow. Have you forgotten your inner light? The candle's flame. Are you searching for happiness instead of living in it? The laughing child. Are you trying to be someone else instead of loving yourself? The mirror. Happiness is not something you find. It is something you uncover, because the peace you seek is already inside you. The real question is, are you ready to see it?